Good evening. Tonight we begin a series of episodes about a man attempting to lose some weight. You might think this would be very light entertainment. On the contrary, it's a very heavy subject. Indeed, I have found these weightlifting types to be a very violent lot. They're always saying things like, "I'm going to blast my biceps today," or "I really crushed my legs last night." Perhaps even more alarming, and the one I hear most frequently, is, "I really killed it in the gym today." I don't know who or what it is they are killing, but given the sheer ubiquitousness of this phrase, it is no wonder that nearly 95% of the population are far too afraid to set foot inside any fitness facility whatsoever. The hero of these episodes is no better, having declared that he wishes to murder as many fat cells as he can by the end of the year. And so, on that grim introduction, here we go, which coincidentally happens to be the title of our hero's first episode.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, or at least the moment some of you have been waiting for, information on me and my actual workout progress. How are things going in 2019? And to answer that, we have my very first workout journal entry episode.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As with most Americans, my year began on January 1st of 2019. After coming home from a New Year's Eve party at my friend Greg's house, one of the very first things I did was weigh in. Now, that early in the morning, before even going to sleep and having just come from a party with a lot of party food, is not really the best time to weigh in. That's going to kind of skew the figures a little bit. But I really just wanted to see, what did I weigh right there in the very first hour of 2019. And so we have our starting figure of 237.8 pounds. So basically, I'm trying to lose 38 pounds by December 31st, 11:59 p.m. And then in the interest of getting progress pictures right at the start of 2019, of getting before images of how I looked right then and there at the start of the year, I immediately went off to the gym. No, not for a workout, but because in their big, well-lit showers, it's just a lot easier to shave down in preparation for those pictures. With everything that goes on in our household on January 1st, I never actually got to a full set of progress pictures on that day. Those had to wait until January 15th, and we'll get to those images in just a moment. But among other things, it's my son's birthday, so we did stop to celebrate that. I want to make sure that, he gets his day. So yes, with everything going on and my family being at home all day, I never really had the time or the privacy to take a full set of progress pictures. I did manage to find some time just to get some basic before photos, just so that I would have something on record. And so, inaugurating the year in my tiger underwear, I took these photos. I had my wife help me take these photos. 237.8 pounds. Here we have the fully relaxed version. That is so unappealing to me. Anyway. And then we have the flexed version there, everything tightened up as best I can. I take the fully relaxed ones just so that, on the idea that the flexing photos, I may not always be flexing to the same degree. I may not be flexing as hard, or in a later set of pictures, I might be flexing harder. I don't want my progress to be affected by that kind of variable. I want to be able to look at a photo and say, yes, I made this kind of progress. So I do try regularly to take one where I am just standing up straight and I'm not sucking in the gut, I'm not flexing anything, just so that I can really see how that develops. My primary goal for January was to make sure that I performed each of the exercises on my list at least once, just to get a starting figure. Most of my personal bests go all the way back to 2012. I had those really off years from 2014 to 2016. I wanted to see where I was right there at the start of the year. What could I achieve in each of those exercises? And so that is what I focused on. It was a little bumpy getting started, but I did eventually hit the gym. We'll get to that in just a moment. The very first one I did was my quarterly walk test. We all motivate ourselves in different ways, and just for fun, just because it was the first of the year, I did actually perform my very first exercise of the year in my Tiger boxer briefs. It is a rather brisk 37 degrees here about noon on January 1st, 2019, and I'm about to kick off this year's workout regimen with my quarterly walk test. That evening, I started work on chiseling away at the 2019 push-ups that UK Harry has challenged me to do. I got in just 11 that day. And it was on Tuesday that I tested myself to see what my current maximum of push-ups was. It has gone all the way down to 19. To think that at one time I did 34 nonstop. Obviously some work to do there. And my starting statistic for the plank was 45 seconds before collapsing. I had a goal of getting to the gym right there on either the 1st or the 2nd. It didn't work. In fact, it wasn't until the first full week of January, that started on January 6th, that I actually got to the gym proper and did a real resistance workout. I got little things done at home. I was determined, had kind of a resolution to not have a single day in this year's journal where I had to write the word missed, where I just didn't do anything that day. It's just kind of a personal thing. Even the most casual 30-minute walk, or the bare minimum of 3 sets of push-ups at home or 3 sets of crunches, just something to put in the book every single day. And so in those first 5 days, I've got some push-ups, I've got some bicep curls using my home dumbbells, just something to put in the book. And then on Monday, January 7th, I hit the gym. With my friend Carson spotting me for safety, I was able to set the starting standard of 2019 at 250 pounds for the bench press.
Yeah! Alright, not to mention 255 tonight.
Nice though.
Whoa!
That's all you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought that was coming back down.
That is tied for my all-time best. The day I can hit 255, I will have a new personal best in the bench press. Of course, with the bench press, I am trying to hit 315 by the end of the year. The very next day, I hit the gym again and did some different exercises to put on the statistic list. I started with the deadlift, and I got to kick off the year with a really pleasant surprise. I was able to set a new personal best right there, January 8th, 285 pounds on the deadlift. And so not even 2 weeks into the new year, and I already had one statistic chalked up toward goal number 3 of setting a new personal best in all of my tracked exercises. I'm not going to take the time to detail all of the circumstances under which I did each exercise, but here's a quick overview of where things stood at the end of the month. Not counting the deadlift, all of the other exercises, both resistance and cardio, are not personal bests. Many of them represent some significant catching back up to do to beat my personal bests of 2012 and 2013. But as of January, of course, I had a whole year ahead of me. In aiming to reach UK Harry's challenge to me, in January I completed 413 push-ups. It is an absolutely gorgeous January 25th here in Central Oregon, 55 and sunny. That is unusual, but not unheard of for this desert climate. I'm going to take advantage of this great weather on my lunch break here and hike up Pilot Butte, which you can see behind me. That is a cinder cone. It was once volcanic and left this lump of rock here in the middle of the city. And once, maybe twice a year, I try to go up it just for fun and some exercise, and I time how long it takes to get to the top. It's not really a race, but obviously the faster I can go each time, that means the better my leg muscles and cardiovascular health. I think my record is about 22 and a half minutes. We'll see what happens today. And okay, my arms are about to give out trying to do this selfie with a 5-pound camera, so it's time to get started. I made the ascent in 20 minutes, 50 seconds. I think that's a record. I'll go see what I achieved last summer when I went up. But I think that's my fastest yet. What's really cool, though, I think even more cool than my time, is how I feel coming back down. There have been times in the past when I was heavier or just more out of shape where I went up it and I got so sore just going up it that coming down, my legs were hurting. Coming down every step, my feet just ached. Today I feel great. So this new year is off to a good start, and I think this bodes really well for my summer jogging and hiking adventures, which of course will be fully documented right here on A Body in Progress. And then, I almost forgot, the progress pictures on January 15th. I guess I saved the most shocking images for last. Here we go. My earliest progress pictures were fairly random in terms of the poses. Sometimes I would stand straight facing the camera, sometimes I would flex as well as I could. I decided, I believe, in 2010 to standardize them. I got a lesson from Bradley Barrett on the bodybuilding poses that you would use in a bodybuilding competition, and I decided to use those poses as my way of tracking progress. So ever since then, I actually run through all of those for the photos. I've gotten better at the poses over time. And I've also moved the photos out of a very tight hallway in our house to the back kitchen door where I hang up a white sheet, just so I have a nice clean background. And then, I move everything out of the way. I set the camera up in a very specific spot every time, just so that everything is the same. And then, pop that posing suit on and run through them all. I will discuss the poses themselves in another episode for anybody who's interested in that information. For now, here are just the photos and the poses with their titles. And then in these photos, I'm weighing approximately 235.6 pounds. So that's about 2 pounds down already from my January 1st weight. I've mentioned my weigh-ins in January a couple of times now, so let's end with a look at how my weight went in January. You can see it there in the graph, the blue line just slowly chipping away little by little, coming down at the end of the month to 234.1 pounds. The blue line is actual data, raw numbers from the scale. The red line is what's called a rolling average, and again, that's something else I'll describe elsewhere, but basically it just kind of smooths out the raw data and shows you a more general trend, whether I'm losing weight or gaining weight. And that's what we have time for today, so for anyone wondering how things were going, you at least have January under your belt now, and I will catch you up to the present day just as soon as I can.